Hi everyone, this is Hello Angel Design. Today I'm going to show you how to make this jumpsuit for your kids or loved ones. It's very easy to make. It's not so difficult. Just have to have a little bit of fabric and you are ready to go. This is how it is. You just fold the top edge of the neckline inside, use bias binding to bind the armhole, make a strap. You have a very beautiful, nice dress. If you have not subscribed, don't forget, click that red button, and after that click the notification bell so that anytime I upload new video you will be the first to be notified. If you have any question, put it on the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Make a comment below if you have any questions. If my tutorial has been helpful, thumbs up. And you have a very beautiful, nice dress. If you have not subscribed, don't forget, click that red button, and after that click the notification bell so that anytime I upload new video you will be the first to be notified. If you have any question, put it on the... Let's get started. Before we start to put the dress together, first thing that you have to do when you print out your pattern paper, you put your fabric on fold like this. So this is my pattern paper right here. You can see the leg hole. This is the side you will put on fold when you're cutting out your pattern paper. Just place it like this and cut it all out. So I just want to explain that to you once you are cutting your fabric, and make sure to cut two pieces of the same thing. So what you're going to do, you open your fabric, you just open it like this. This is the front of my dress, and you take the second pieces, you also open it like this. Make sure both front of your fabric are facing each other. You're going to pin the both side seam of the dress together. So you just pick your dress and continue pinning the side seam all the way down. Once you have done pinning the both sides seam together, the next thing that you have to do, take it to your sewing machine, stitch the both side seam all the way down. My seam allowance is 1 centimeter. Once you have done stitching, take it to your overlocker, overlock the both side seam raw edges. If you're using zigzag, use zigzag to overlock the both side seam edges. So go ahead and top stitch. I have stitched the side seam together, and I take it to my overlocker, overlock the raw edges. The next thing that you have to do is to stitch your crotch. The dress that you're making, take it to your sewing machine, give it a top stitch all the way down. You can either just go ahead and pin it all the way down. So go ahead and pin it all the way down, and then you can take it to your sewing machine and top stitch. My seam allowance is 1 centimeter. So I have pinned my all around. I will take it to my sewing machine right now and then give it a top stitch all around. If you have overlocker, overlock the raw edges, or use zigzag to overlock the raw edges. I have stitched it all around, and I also overlock it all around, and you can see that I have overlocked the leg hole, and I did that on the other side. I just overlocked the both leg hole. The next thing that you have to do is to use bias binding for the armhole. So you just place your bias binding. I don't have a pink bias binding, but I have cream bias binding. I think it will match because the bias binding is going to be inside the dress. Place your bias binding at the front like this. Just go ahead and pin it all around. I have pinned my bias binding on the both armhole. This is how it is. I will take it to my sewing machine, give it a top stitch all the way down. You can see the crease in between the bias binding. Give it a top stitch all the way down, then fold it and then fold it again and give it a top stitch all over again. So come with me and let's stitch that together. I have top stitched the armhole. This is how it is. Use my bias binding to top stitch it all around, and I did the same thing on the side. You can see that I have overlocked the top edge. What you're going to do once you overlock the top edge, or you use zigzag to overlock it, I fold inside 1.5 centimeter, and you come to the other side, you do the same thing, fold inside 1.5 centimeter. And you come to the leg hole. You can see the leg hole. I fold inside 2 centimeter, and I did the same thing on this side. I fold inside 2 centimeter. So what you're going to do, take it to your sewing machine, give it a top stitch all around, and then you will come down here and you also give it a top stitch all the way down. You do the same thing on this side. So go ahead and top stitch. Once you have done that, then we can stitch the strap together. I have top stitched the leg hole. This is how it finally look. Make sure you take it to your ironing board and give it a nice press. And I did the same thing with the top right here. Just give it a top stitch. This is how it will look. The next thing that you have to do is to stitch your strap. What you're going to do, put them into two so that you know the mid part. The mid part of my strap is this yellow pin. So what I'm going to do, you can see my marker right here. I don't want to stitch 4 corners like this. So you place your ruler, just draw a diagonal. So when you take it to your sewing machine and stitch, just start from that mark right here and stitch it all the way down to this end. So I'm leaving 1 centimeter in between the center of the male fabric. Then I will end here. I will leave this gap and I will continue from the peak pin, leave 1 centimeter and then stitch it all the way down and come to the end of where my marker is. Also draw a diagonal, and when I'm stitching, I'm going to stitch it all the way down. Once I have done that, then from this gap that I left open, this is where I'm going to turn the fabric inside out. Once I have turned it inside out, give it a very nice press. Once you have done that, thread your needle and just use hand stitch to stitch it in place. It's very tiny, it's not so much. Use hand stitch to stitch it in place. If you don't know how to use hand stitch, you can also use your sewing machine to stitch it in place. So my seam allowance is 1 centimeter. Go ahead and top stitch. I have stitched the strap all around. This is how it is. Make sure to give it a nice press. Before you turn it inside out, don't forget to trim a little bit from your seam allowance. So I use hand stitch to stitch mine. If you don't know, use sewing machine to top stitch. So this is my hand stitch. You can hardly know where I stitch. The next thing that you have to do, put your pin inside like this, and you're going to put it inside here and across all around. So I will take off my pin and I will just adjust the dress. Once you fix it like this, you put your strap around the neckline of the dress and you tie a bow. This is how it will finally look. All you have to do is to adjust the dress. This is how it will finally look right here. I will just show you all the way. This is how it will look. You can see how easy that is. It's not so difficult to make. It's super easy. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Make a comment down below and have a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye.